Hi, I'm Medina Librarian Sean. I'd like to talk to you about a couple of books that I think would be great for 8th and ninth graders. The first one is a creepy, spooky type of supernatural book called Eventide. And Eventide is by Sarah Goodman, and it's about these two kids, and they're put on an orphan train and sent to Arkansas, and the one of them's cute and 11, so she gets adopted real quick, but the older teenage one, she does not get adopted, so she ends up having to indenture herself to become a farmhand just so she can stay close to her sister. And she starts to notice now that this town of Wheeler, Arkansas has all kinds of spooky, weird things going on in it, like all kinds of supernatural stuff. And so she's trying to keep an eye on her sister and keep her safe. But she's also following threads to a mystery that involve her parents' scandalous past in this town. Will she follow the threads? Dare she do so in Eventide? The other book that I think would be great for 8th and ninth graders is by one of my favorite authors for teens, Elizabeth Wein, and it's called The Enigma Game. This is the author who wrote Codename Verity, and in fact it's the part of the same historical literary universe that was started with Codename Verity. So there are some characters coming back from some of her favorites in here, plus a brand new character named Louisa Adair, born in Jamaica, who's an orphan teen in Scotland, which the grudge against the Nazis who killed her parents. When they discover a German Enigma code machine, could it give them the chance to turn the tide of the war, or is it just going to put them in the crosshairs of a ruthless enemy? The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wein.
Hi, my name is Angie, and today I would like to share some books with you that I think you might enjoy. The first one I want to talk to you about is actually two books. They're in a series, and the first one is called Day Zero. It's about Jinx Marshall, who is a 17-year-old gamer and computer coder, and she just wants to play her online games with her friends, and she ends up being caught up in a civil war, what's beginning to be a civil war between different political parties, and her stepdad is framed for a massive terrorist attack, and she ends up being on the run with her siblings from political operatives on both sides. And she has to use the skills that she's learned from her dad when she was living with her dad, and he taught her survivalist skills. And she ends up having to use those skills to keep herself and her siblings safe and try to uncover the truth. And it feels like the world is collapsing all around them. The second book is called Day One, and it continues the story, and it is also told in alternating perspectives between Jinx and her stepsister McKenna. So you get two different perspectives on the story and what's going on. So this is Day Zero and Day One by Kelly deVos. The next book I want to talk about is a nonfiction book. It's called Stamped: Racism, Antiracism, and You by Jason Reynolds and Ibram X. Kendi. This book is not a typical history book, but it does present the story of slavery and racism in a relatable and engaging way. It's a remix of another book called Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi. People of all ages should read this book if they want to learn more about how racism became entrenched in our culture and what steps we can take to move forward.
Hello, my name is Rachel, and I'm going to tell you about some great books for 8th and ninth graders. So the first one is called Red Stars: The Case of Viktor and Nadia's Notebooks. This is about two twins named Viktor and Nadia who are 12 years old when Hitler's Germany declares war on the Soviet Union. With very little notice, all of the children of the city are evacuated and put on trains meant to take them to safety. But when they get to the train station, Viktor and Nadia are split up. Before they had left, their father had provided them each with a diary and told them to write about everything that they experience. And so this book is made up of fictionalized diaries written by these two children and all of the disasters that befall them during the World War II. and their fight to keep their city from being taken over by the Nazis, and their hope and determination to find one another again. Red Stars, The Case of Viktor and Nadia's Notebooks. The next book is great for those who love fantasy. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsah Faizal. The dark forest grows more and more every day. Eventually, it will have taken over the whole entire kingdom. No one dares set foot inside. No one except the hunter. But little does anyone know that the hunter is actually a woman. Zafira disguises herself as a man so that she can hunt in the forest and provide food for the people of her village. One day, a white witch approaches her and puts her on a journey to find an ancient relic that will bring magic back to her kingdom and stop the dark forest from growing once and for all. But little does she know that the Prince of Darkness, the Sultan's son, has also been set on this same course to find the relic, but also he's been given the task of killing the hunter. We Hunt the Flame